About 4 weeks ago, one of my colleagues invited me to New York City to have a lovely dinner. Now, I went to this dinner, walked in, and I met the acquaintance. He introduced me to not only one of his investors in his company, but a gentleman who was in charge of managing $500 million in private equity. Now, we sat there for about approximately an hour and 13 minutes. Very concise. And we engaged and we spoke. But mostly, I spent that evening shutting the fuck up and listening. Y en ese momento lo que me di cuenta es que la gente rica se mueve de manera diferente. Piensan de manera diferente. Simplemente ellos son diferentes. Elite men move differently, gentlemen. And in this video, I'm going to share with you guys 12 universal laws that elite men use that you don't. That being said, by the end of this video, if you start to apply and implement and take heed to these 12 universal laws, you will convert yourself into a rather idiosyncratic individual, a man that is distinguishable from the average populace, a man that will start to rock your reality and get everything that you say that you want. That being said, fellas, as I always do, I always like to write down some key points to talk to you guys because I want to brain dump. I want to make sure that I get everything out to help you gentlemen become the men that you say that you want to be. All right. So that being said, fellas, let's get started with the video. The number one universal law that elite men use that you don't is going to be the law of divine oneness. Now, this law states that everything is connected, everything down from your actions, your thoughts, to what you experience is connected. You see, when you operate from the higher perspective and you understand this, you start to become what? What do I always talk to you guys about? Doesn't matter what we're talking about, whether we're talking about garnering the attention of the exact women you want, networking with other high-level men, becoming the guy you want, scaling your business. What do I always talk to you guys about? I talk to you gentlemen about congruency. You see, many people lack congruency. They're trying to skip the process and skip the steps. No, you must become that which you seek, and then that which you seek will seek you. And so that being said, a couple of days ago, I was on a sales call with a gentleman. He reached out to me. He's a guy that serves. He's in the military. And I really admire men of service because for one, they're serving. I think that's very admirable, right? And they're very decisive, typically driven, self-starters, right? And so I was talking with this gentleman, and he was telling me a little bit about what he was going through. And then I showed him exactly what we do here. And then like fear overtook him. And I was like, you know, with all due respect, in your line of work, indecision costs lives. So you'll be decisive to serve, but you won't serve yourself. And then he started to give, you know, all types of excuses and say, oh, I don't want to be scammed. And, you know, I looked at him and I said, you reached out to me. And so what I've noticed, right, especially in my personal life, is that whenever you're not congruent, you're living in hell. Because you say you want to do something, and then you try to take the step. Obviously, it's scary. It's going to be scary every step along the way. But then when you don't see to it that you walk in full alignment and you're congruent, you're going to mentally masturbate and fall back in the same pit that you were in before. This is what I call mental purgatory. I know mental purgatory far too well, and I'm never going back. So once you understand the law of divine oneness, when you say something, you do it. You make a definite action. If a man gets on a call with me or anybody from my team, they want the help. Now, they're going to have to face what's called a terror barrier, where you have a decision to make. And if you're not a coward, you're going to make that decision, and everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of that decision. But it never ends. Once you get success, you're going to have to make another decision again. Until the day you die, you'll have to make tough decisions. But until you are one with everything you say that you want, notice how I say everything you say that you want. Do you really want what you say you want? Or does it just sound appeasing to you? Does it just sound good? Most men don't want what they say that they want. Why? Because they're not living in unison with that which they say they want. Your thoughts does not reflect a successful, confident man. And that's why you don't get confident, beautiful women. I said this already. If you haven't seen the video where I broke down why the women you want don't want you, go check that video out after this one. You see, you can't cheat the process, gentlemen. You must become one. And this is what elite men understand. Elite men exude the confidence. When they walk in the room, you feel their energy. Why? Because they're congruent. Their thoughts are aligned with their actions, even if they are afraid. You don't think a warrior is afraid? What's the difference between a warrior and a coward? They're both the same. The only difference is the warrior exercises courage when his fear presents itself, and the coward whimpers away. That's the only difference between a man of honor and a bitch. Straight up. That's the only difference, is courage, decisiveness. So the universal law of divine oneness states that your thoughts, your actions, your feelings have to align because everything is connected. You are one with everything. And once you understand that you are one with everything, if you are a timid bitch right now, if you're a man that's not making enough money, you're not happy with yourself, you can't control yourself sexually, you don't have the relationships you want, you don't have the brotherhood that you want, whatever you don't have, because you're already connected to everything, you would understand that you can have that. You just have to start taking the actions to get there. And it's going to be uncomfortable because your ego and your old paradigm wants you to stay where you're at. And you're going to have to make the decision to break the pattern in your life. This is how elite men move. Now, number 2 is one of my personal favorites, right? And I'm going to talk about why it's one of my personal favorites. Number 2 is the law of vibration. Now, the law of vibration states that you have to become what you say you seek. Similar to divine oneness, but you give off an energy. You give off a vibe, right? A vibration. Now, if you're living a reality that you don't like, that you're not enjoying, right? If you have some pain, literally all you have to do is start acting, deluding, and having thoughts of the kind of lifestyle that you want. For example, when I used to be this timid, insecure, stuttering Haitian immigrant kid, right, that was broke, I had those thoughts. I was shy. I was, always mentally masturbating. I was afraid to make a decision. I was afraid to invest in myself. I was afraid to take action. But I saw in my mind that I would be leading men. I didn't know how I would be leading men. I didn't know how I would be public speaking. I remember one time, this was back in 2018, I'll be candid. I was in my apartment and I was laying on the floor because I had no furniture. And I was laying on a yoga mat and I was just laying down and I was meditating. I was visualizing, and I'll never forget this visualization because it fucking made me cry. I was visualizing me speaking on a stage, and just like after my speech, people coming up to me in tears crying because my words moved them. A guy that had a debilitating speech impediments, words moved people. And when I opened my eyes from that visualization, I got emotional because I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna get there? I didn't need to know how I was going to get there. I just knew I would get there. Now, fast forward, 6 years later, I'm a public speaker. Working every day, changing lives every day, transforming men every single day. All because my vibration matches that which I said I would be. I take the uncomfortable actions. I think how the higher version of me would think. Whenever I am presented with conflict or an issue, I used to let the outside world get to me and say, damn, man, why me? For example, right now, my heart is broken. I just lost my uncle 2 weeks ago. I'm getting ready to go bury him. I said, let me film this video for you guys. It's been a lot of loss around me in the past 8 months, man. I lost my older brother on my fucking birthday. Just lost my uncle who I was just with 2 weeks ago. It's been a lot of loss in my life just in the past 8 months. But I'm keeping that vibration of the highest version of myself because I made a commitment to walk in divine alignment with the man I said I would. I'm 100% congruent on this fucking camera and off this fucking camera, bitch. That's why I'm able to do and experience the things I've experienced in my life. There's no way around it, but I digress. Though my heart is broken right now, whenever conflict presents itself to me, I say, oh, wait, higher perspective. Let's take a second and think, Dudley. Let's not react to this external reality. The external reality is fake. All that matters is what's in a man's mind. How would the version of you that's making $1 million a month react to this? I said, oh, he wouldn't get emotional. He wouldn't, have a false start and react quickly. He would be poised because he is the head of an empire and it's not just about him. He's feeding thousands of people. So you can't move hastily. You can't move off of haste. You have to be poised, demeanor. The general has to be calm, even if he is fearful. The general can never tell the soldiers that he feels fear. You kidding me? So how would the highest version of you move? This is how elite men move. You don't think elite men face challenges every single day? I was picking that gentleman's brain at the dinner table and to get to where he got to, because personally, I had never been in front of somebody that moves that much money around. And I was talking to him and it's interesting how the elite think, how they move. So different from what I was taught, right? I come from a poor Haitian family. And so, like I said, the second law is the law of vibration. You have to think. You have to become and exude what you say that you want. Moving on. The third law is the law of correspondence. Your inner world is spewing out exactly what you are. So like I said, if you're broke, if you're timid, if you're indecisive, whatever you're dealing with right now, it ain't like you don't know what you have to do. Every man knows what he needs to do. You're just bullshitting yourself. Your reality is an exact representation of the man you are internally. Just own up to it. You're not where you want to be because you're not who you need to be. You're not where you want to be because you're not who you need to be. Let's talk about it, fellas. You need to own up to the fact that you're full of shit. Especially the guys who think that they have it all figured out because you've seen a little bit of success. I was in your shoes. I seen a little bit of success. I'm doing okay for myself. Hey, I'm making good money, making 6 figures, got the girl traveling, doing what I'm doing. Uh-oh. I got a little comfortable, didn't I? Ooh-wee, I never saw that kind of money in my life. My balls were getting drained every single night, right? Paying my mom's bills, finally able to, be the man that I said I would be. Uh-oh. I got a little comfortable. My whole fucking world went to shit. Lost it all. Because I got comfortable. You know why? I wasn't congruent. I was resting on my past laurels. Yup. My inner world wasn't complete yet. So even though I had seen some wins on the external, internally, I wasn't fully polished. And so this is why in my mentorship, I always tell my guys, look, I'm going to be honest. We have 100% results. Nobody can guarantee you that. We have 100% results. That's not my fucking concern. You'll get the results because my program is proven. The systems are proven. My concern is, can you sustain and maintain your dominance when you go from making $60,000 a fucking year to making $60,000 a month? That's my concern. Can you sustain that type of dominance? Do you feel comfortable being around other men that are heavy hitters, that are high achievers? Or do you feel inferior because this man makes millions and you don't? Do you feel inferior or do you feel like you actually belong? What does your inner world say about you? Haz un vistazo, pues. Take a look at your reality and you'll know exactly the kind of man you are. There's no faking it. And that's why I love this game of life. Ooh, a man has to get real honest with himself. Take a look around you, fellas. Are you really where you want to be? Okay, let's say you're making a couple 6 figures a year. Okay, you're fit. Okay, you're handsome. Uh-oh. Aún te falta algo, mano. sabes que eso no es suficiente, ¿cierto? Vos sabes que eso no es suficiente, pero sigues actuando como si. Okay. I see you, big dog. You're doing okay for yourself. Okay, you might be the first person in your family to do something, but you're not maximizing your life and you know it. Drop the fucking ego and accept that you're not the man you need to be to get to where you say you want to be. Honest conversations to have with yourself when you're not distracted by the external world. Moving forward. Number 4, I'm not even going to stay here too long because this is the most famous law. Everybody knows about this, but this is a secondary law. This is probably one of the only laws that you can't control. You can control your vibration. You can control your thoughts and your actions, but number 4 is the law of attraction, right? This is the commercialized universal law. And it's true. You attract what you are. But here's the thing about the law of attraction. Once you are, on top of your vibration, you understand the law of divine oneness, right? When you start to put in the work and take the actions, only once you become this man, then, only then, will the universe bring you. I'm not even gonna say that bullshit that these dudes be saying, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. Motherfucker, God is everything. Let's cut the fucking shit. When I say universe, I'm talking about God because God is all and all is God. Anyway, once you become this man and you're taking the action and you're living, right, in divine oneness, then you start to notice, right, serendipity, synchronous occurrences starting to happen and come to you because you now match that frequency. You match the frequency, you've been doing the work, and now the opposite and equal reaction comes to you. This could be manifested, for example, you've been doing the work, working on yourself, developing a certain level of prowess or acumen in your field. And then one day, let me tell you a story actually. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to go get a massage, right? And I got the massage or whatever, and I ordered a Lyft. I typically take Uber, but I just ordered a Lyft today for some odd reason. And I got in the Lyft and I noticed that this gentleman's photo was very professional. So I made a comment and I said, hey man, your photo is super professional, man. Good job. Most guys' photos on this app doesn't look good. And he said, yeah, you have to present yourself well and everything. And I said, interesting, man. So we started sparking up a conversation. Turns out this guy is a vet. He actually just came back. He actually owns multiple properties, a property in Malta. He also owns a gym. He ended up inviting me to his gym. And now we're going into business together, right? He's also a Haitian brother, right? So we've got some things that we're aligning. I'm introducing him to, like my network as well. And my highest goal, which I'm not going to say here on camera, aligns with his highest goal as well as my inner circle. And it's so interesting how that happens. Law of attraction. You become a man that's worthy of attracting other men that are doing extremely well for themselves. Anyway, law of attraction. Moving on to number 5. Number 5 is the law of inspired action. You have to take action, fellas. You can't just be a mental masturbator and just thinking that things are going to happen for you. You see, elite men take action. Elite men are decisive. For example, that gentleman that I had on the call, that was very indecisive. He was decisive enough to get on the call because he wants to change. But then when it came to locking his spot, he allowed fear to consume him. So anytime that you allow fear to consume you, that's the ultimate betrayal to yourself because you're denying yourself access to the man that you should be. And that's something that you have to live with. Fellas, I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be scary every step along the way. Me public speaking is scary because I know in the back of my mind, there's that little voice talking about, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. So what? I tell that voice to shut the fuck up every day. And I trot forward with courage. You're going to have to take the inspired action, fellas. In order for you to get the exact life that you want, you have to take it. And that shit is scary because it's going to cause you or it's going to make you confront parts of yourself that you've been trying to suppress. But no, you can't suppress that side of yourself. You see, I was a little insecure bitch and I couldn't suppress that. Do you know why? Because the more I tried to pop on top of it and not address it, it started to fester. It started to fester and ooze and permeate into other areas of my life until I dug that shit up and I cleaned it. Bien nettoyé, bien propre, right? Cleaned that shit up, and now I walk with 100% congruency. Yeah, make it up, fellas. You're going to have to take the actions that scare you. That's the only way you will augment your life and become the exact man that you say that you are. That's the discrepancy between you and the man that you say you are online, the man that you say you are to the world, the man that you try to act like you are, but everybody can smell it on you. You're fake, you're phony. Everybody could tell. And that's something that you have to confront. No man is free until he's a master of himself. Law number 6 is the law of perpetual transmutation, fellas. You have to understand that, you can always transmute your energy. Things are always changing and you have to be adaptable. Right now, I'm in pain because I just lost my uncle, right? I've had so many hardships happen to me, but I'm able to transmute the energy and get the job done. I'm able to still work every day, still do what I have to do. And then when I'm by myself, I let my emotions out how I should, how a grown man should. We don't do that shit in public. We don't wear our emotions on our sleeves. We wait till we have a space to do it and we do what we got to do. Being candid. So you need to learn how to control yourself and get a grip and transmute that energy. This is power. This is strength. And elite men know this. You don't see no elite man crying. You might see some rich men doing crazy stuff, right? Still simping, still uncongruent. Being rich doesn't mean you're elite. How many times do I have to tell you guys this? You can be rich and still be a cornball, but to be the best of the best, the cream of the crop, the elite at the zenith of preeminence and great grandeur, you're going to have to master yourself on a metaphysical level. And elite men understand this. They understand this. This is why I even have a breathwork practitioner in my mentorship program, so that our entrepreneurs can get stabilized every single week, stabilize and anchor their minds in the midst of them facing the arduous complexities of life. Gentlemen, number 7 is the law of cause and effect. Every decision you make or every decision you don't make has an effect. So if you don't make definite decisions to become the man that you say that you want to be, just enjoy being average or below average, or enjoy being slightly above average. But if you want to be elite, you're going to take elite actions. I try to scare myself every day. Anytime I don't want to do something, I know I need to do it. Anytime I feel some pullback or I get nervous, I know I need to do it. Why? Because in order for me to become the man that I've written down in my C-type goal, which if you still don't know what that is, you have a lot of content to catch up to, fellas. You got to go watch my last 30 videos because I've already broken down the concept of the C-type goal. But you got to understand this. You need to move meticulously. You can't just be wasting action, wasting your attention. Your attention is literally valuable than gold, fellas. Your attention is what makes your reality. So you have to allocate it into areas and sectors that are the most behooving to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? You must be like a surgeon with your attention and be precise to the specific degree. And only when you do this, will you be able to actually achieve and experience what you want to experience. There's no way around it. And elite men understand this. This is why their time is so respected. This is why they live by their calendar. This is why they're so disciplined. This is why they're at the zenith of society. You don't get there by just winging it, by just throwing something on the wall. You get there by meticulous building, networking, iteration, acquiring skills and acumen, fortifying yourself, breaking yourself down, rebuilding yourself up stronger. It takes a lot of work, and most of this work, if not all of this work, is spiritual. I told you already, there's 2 ways a man works on himself. In the 3D and on the 3D. In the 3D is when you take the actions, right? You doing the Facebook ads, or you taking sales calls, or you doing this, you building up your business or whatever. And working on the 3D is working on your mind so that you believe that you're 100% the man that you say that you are. Number 8 is the law of compensation. You get what you give. Fellas, you want to be giving out as much value as possible. You want to be courteous. You want to be kind to people. You want to serve people. I told you already, it's not about you and I. It's about the people that we're going to serve, the lives that we're going to affect. You see, me, I put out a lot of good karma because I give so much free game and information out every day. My concern is not, I'm giving out my whole program out for free. I don't care. Like, there's nothing new underneath the sun. Yeah, I might have acquired some information, but it's not like the information wasn't there. It's just my experiences with the information that I've learned. I put it out there for free. That's not why people pay me or why people from all over the world choose to work with me. People choose to work with me because of the brotherhood I have and the implementation systems. So this is why I have no issue giving out free value. I want to serve you guys. I want you guys to win. I love doing this kind of work. I genuinely like seeing you guys win. I like opening up my YouTube and seeing somebody say, man, this video really changed my life. Thank you. I implemented this and this X, Y, and Z happened. That makes me happy. Do you know why? Because think of how much good karma I'm putting out in the world. That gentleman's life that I changed will now go change his family's life and they'll change other lives. Do you know how much good karma that is? And when you put out so much good karma and good value, you get blessed infinitely. I was talking with another gentleman the other day on a call, and he was saying he kind of wants to do the same thing I want to do and like coach guys and talk about dating topics or being a renaissance man. And he said he doesn't want to compete with me or compete with any other red pill content creator, right? Which I'm not a red pill content creator, by the way, just to distinguish that, because people lack comprehension skills. But I said to him, leaders don't compete, we create. You're not in competition with anybody. You're going to find your tribe regardless. You're adding value, and people that resonate with your message will resonate with your message. You have to think abundantly. You're not competing with anybody. And so this is the mindset shift that you have to have. You need to serve and give as much as you can. Always build people up. Always make people feel good and respected, especially other men, because the world is constantly trying to break you down. Why not build a brother up? Number 9 is the law of relativity. Guys, perspective is everything. I've already spoken to you guys about higher faculties, and one of those higher faculties being your perspective. Your struggles are temporary. You see, though my heart is broken right now, I understand that I'm still walking on the path of the man that I need to be. So I'm enthused every day I get up, even though I'm facing turmoil. I'm enthused because I get to wake up and take one more step towards being the exact man I said I would be. Perspective. You might have lost your job. You might have got laid off. I know in the USA right now, lots of people have gotten laid off. But at least you have your health. At least you have a place to stay. At least you have food. Basic necessities that somebody across the world might not have. That somebody from my country, Haiti, might not have. So, relativity, guys. Always keep the grand perspective that at the end of the day, if you can think, if you can play this video and watch this right now, you're not doing that bad. Stop complaining. Stop being a little bitch. Relativity, fellas. Elite men understand this. Are you okay? Are you healthy? Are you living? It can always be worse. So when you maintain this perspective of being grateful for where you are and understanding that life is up and down, you'll move through life with clarity and you'll be unfazed. Yeah, some things will hurt. We're human. We're in flesh form right now. But when you have that grand perspective, you're now moving like the elite version of yourself. Number 10, the law of polarity. I've spoken about this one a lot. Fellas, understand that life is always changing. And the exact life that you're experiencing right now, there exists the exact opposite. If you are doing well for yourself right now, there's a version that's doing bad. And if you're doing bad right now, there's a version of you that's doing good. Meaning, you can tap into those versions at any moment. What do I mean? When I was down and out, right? When I was insecure, broke, timid, right? Bouncing from home to home, right? I saw myself being the man that I am today. I saw him in my mind. I didn't know him yet. I didn't know how I would get there, but I saw him. And so little by little, I started becoming him by taking the actions. I started learning, studying, putting myself out there, making a fool out of myself, building up the prowess, getting the scars, the scrapes, the bruises of my ego, As I embarked on a journey to facing myself, it was uncomfortable. But you know what else is uncomfortable? Staying the same. And I refused to let fear hold me back. So, I was in the trenches for years, doing what I had to do. I saw myself as being an eclectic Renaissance man. So, I started bouncing around, pinballing from different corners of the earth, living all over the world. And you want to know one moment that just always sticks in my head when I knew I was 100% the man that I said I would be? I was in a little village in Iceland called Húsavík. And one day, I just had this outer body experience. And I looked around me, and I was in a barn with 300 Vikings in Iceland, with a warm embrace from all of them. And I said, God damn it, I'm 100% the man that I am. There's not a place on this planet you could put me that I will not make brothers, that I will not network, that I will not make friends, that I will not be able to connect with the people and bask in their culture. You see, the law of polarity states that there's an equal and opposite for everything. If you are not the man you want to be, you are still the man you want to be. You just have to make a decision. And more than often, probably all the time, that decision will scare the fuck out of you. But what you do in that moment of fear defines if you're going to walk into alignment with that higher version of yourself, or if you're destined to stay in the lower version of yourself. How glorious is this life of a man? We have to face our fears every single day. And you know, you know, look, the world ain't gotta know. Your mama ain't gotta know. Your brothers ain't gotta know. But you know if you're a bitch or if you're really the man that you say that you are. Number 11, the law of rhythm. This is one that I've personally struggled with oftentimes. The law of rhythm states that life is up and down and there are different seasons. So you must have the grand perspective to understand this. If you're in a low season right now, there's going to be a high tide season. And when you're in a high tide season, you better, stay ready because there's going to be low tide seasons. That's why life and business and relationships are so similar. And I love being able to experience these complexities of life. It's because once you understand this law right here, nothing's going to faze you. Like I said, I lost my uncle. I lost my brother. Yeah, I cried my intestines out, but I'm still producing in the world. I'm still honoring my clients. I'm still getting better. I'm still growing. I'm still fighting. I'm still pushing. It's because I understand this universal law of rhythm. Up and down, up and down, up and down. You will win, brother. You will. But you have to ride the waves, man, because it's never ending. It's never ending. You're going to have to face yourself until the day that you die. This is what life is about. So make that decision and understand that life is about rhythm. You might take a step back to go forward and come back, right? But you can never move sideways. Some of you guys like to just move sideways. You're going nowhere. You gotta always be going up. Always be going up, never be going sideways. And as long as you're going up, even if you go down sometimes, if you look at a chart, a graph, there might be some dips in the market certain years. But over 30-year averages, it's going up. And that's all that matters. And the 12th and final law, gentlemen, that elite men understand, master, and use that you don't, is the law of gender. You see, what's particularly interesting about this space that we're in here, the male self-improvement space. The male self-improvement space. So many misguided men. Nobody talks about how we also have a feminine side as men. Yes, you too. You see, me creating this video right here, using my creativity, is me using my feminine energy. I'm in a flow state. That's why I'm able to just talk, right? I don't have to script videos because I'm using my creative energy, pulling from source. But I also have my masculine side that's always driving and pushing and spearheading in my business, in my personal lives, when I'm dominating my women, right? That might get me canceled. Let me put a disclaimer. I'm talking about intersexual dynamics when I'm playing around with the women that I choose to date. I'm talking about the polarity that we have, the understanding that we have as it pertains to intimacy. There's masculine energy and then there's feminine energy. And the real man understands that he needs to embody both. You see, when I'm creative, I'm able to flow with my feminine energy. When I'm caring for my mother, caring for my loved ones, right? I'm able to flow with certain feminine energy. When you're going to love for your son, part of that is feminine energy, but you love him like a father with disciplinary love, because a mother and a father loves differently, obviously. But an elite man understands this. He understands the law of gender. So embrace every facet of yourself. Obviously, it goes without being said, I'm not saying to complain, I'm not saying to whine, I'm not saying to be a bitch. What I'm saying is understand and move into your full self smoothly and confidently as a man. And once you are able to embrace your entirety, you reach what I've coined to be a masculine flow state. Only when you embrace every aspect of yourself and you don't give a fuck what anybody has to say about you, do you move into that masculine flow state. This is why I'm able to be my 100% self on camera. When most guys are on here putting on a front, most guys want you to perceive them a certain type of way. I show you guys all my quirks. I talk to you guys about my insecurities, all my doubts, because I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because I know who I am 10 toes down, bitch. 10 toes down, planted, confident. Because I've done the work and I continue to do the work on myself. So once you understand the law of gender, you'll now move and put yourself and position yourself into an elite bracket of men. Gentlemen, if you're struggling right now, mastering these 12 universal laws, if you're struggling with yourself, if you are an ambitious man that's frustrated, that's feeling stuck, that doesn't have a direction in life, book a call down below. It's a free strategy call. Full transparency, I offer a premium service. That being said, the nature of the transformations that we have, every gentleman has seen an ROI that's tenfold. I'm not here to waste my time. That being said, when you get on the call, be ready to make a decision. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, or somebody from my team will ask you a series of questions to see if it's a good fit for us to work together. Book that call down below. Let's get to work. Fellas, it's always a pleasure talking to you guys, man. This is the highlight of my day, making these videos, helping you guys out. I love y'all boys, man. Salute.